Hello, everybody. So glad. Whoa, so glad to see you guys all today. Hi, I'm Lisa. With me are, as always, Robert and Michelle. We are very excited to be doing our live stream today. Nice to see you all. Let's quickly do some introductions and then we will get rolling into our little program for today. Let's start with Robert today. Tell us a little about you and your awesome channel before we get started.
Well, my channel is The Story Detective, and I put various forms of storytelling under a Sherlockian microscope and break down the craft in its various forms and natures and give it to the viewer in hopes of making their journey easier.
Yay! Thank you very much. Michelle, tell us all about you and your awesome channel.
All right, I'm Michelle Schusterman. I write middle grade and young adult novels, and my channel is Writing Workshops, Traditional Publishing Chat, and Writing Vlogs.
Thank you both so much for being here. As always, I am Lisa Daly, and I write romantic comedies and nonfiction writing advice. And on my channel, we talk about how to write a book you're super proud of and get it published. I have a new batch of videos that I am filming this week, so I am super excited. Those should start going out next week, so that's going to be awesome. Thank you. Let's say hello to everybody. Hello, Devin. Super glad to see you. Mary's here. Oh, she's coming in from Hawaii. So thank you guys for worrying about me floating away with Hurricane Debbie this week. We had there is flooding in the area. We are okay because our house is on like a little hill above the water, so the water table's up quite below us. So so we did okay, even though there is some flooding in the area. I know some streets in Sarasota in particular, Bahia Vista, which is like where the circus rink is, like circus arena that my daughter did circus for years, is like underwater. So the flooding is bad. The wind was not bad this time because it was only a category 1, but the flooding was bad. So thank you guys all very much for your good wishes. We are all okay, and the rest of Florida will dry out very soon. Let's see. Daisy's here. Hello. Aw, thank you so much. Hello. Good afternoon, Maz. We're super happy to see you. Hello, Melissa. Welcome. We are very glad you are here today. So, what is everybody going to be working on today? What are you working on, Robert?
I have some client work today. It's a little complicated, so I'm just typing up my notes.
Very, very nice. Michelle, what are you working on today?
I'm still on that same ghostwriting project. I think I've got about 3 weeks left.
Oh, yay. I have I'm also, this is kind of funny that we're all working on client stuff today. For the first part, I'm going to make some quick client edits. We're like in the last round before he submits to publishers. We're just going through and making like the last little tweaks. So that should not take me very long. And then I'm going to be over on Canva working on some social media promo stuff. So yay, that's super exciting. Elizabeth's here. So Elizabeth is a friend of mine. Hi, we're so glad to see you today. Elizabeth is a rom-com writer, really talented rom-com writer. And she and Lainey are friends of mine from this rom-com group. And yesterday we did something really, really fun. And that was, we did a little promo with Barnes and Noble where I'll show you guys later. Actually, let's go ahead and do before I go into this whole thing. We did a promo with Barnes and Noble. It was really fun and cool, and I'll tell you guys all about it after the break. How about that? Let's start with our 5-minute sprint. We don't want to just like get going like randomly, you know what I'm trying to say. Or maybe you don't, because I'm a little blah today. All right, so we're going to start off with a 5-minute warm-up sprint. Let us know in the chat what you guys are all working on today. We are, with the warm-up, you're going to just get your document open, get your water, drop a little hi in the chat, and let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's cha-cha. Hello. Sorry. Thanks so much for being here, you guys. How'd everybody do on that 5-minute sprint? Everybody all warmed up and ready to roll? All right.
Yes.
Fantastic. So Elizabeth says she is outlining a holiday story today. Love that. Very nice. Avi's here. Hello. Aw. Lovely Lisa, magnificent Michelle, and riveting Robert, aka Sir Sherlock Fancy Pants to those who own a lightsaber. Hope everybody's doing great. We hope you're doing great too. Thank you so much for being here today. We love you. All right. So let me tell you guys what happened yesterday. We did this Barnes and Noble event. Elizabeth had pitched them an event that was a collection of indie rom-com authors. And so we're doing a BOGO sale with them. So buy one book, get the other one, or get the second one for 50% off. For I think there were 14 or 16 of us. And last night we did a live stream with Barnes and Noble with I think 7 of us, and it was really, really fun. We had a really great time with that experience. Although it was weird because because I do this every week, I had the opportunity to be the moderator, which was really fun, except I wasn't in my own StreamYard. We were in Barnes & Noble StreamYard. And so you don't have, when you're in somebody else's, you don't have any of the same controls. So I couldn't like pop up comments and I couldn't, do that. And I kept dumping myself out, like trying to log in. It was kind of fun.
Oh.
But I dumped myself out right before we started, and the whole thing actually went really well. But anyway, so it was recorded. I will track down in the next sprint. I'll track down the live stream. It was really fun. We had a really good time. We all sort of the thing that we had in common with all of these books is that they all had a story behind them. Like there was some anecdote from our lives that ended up in the book, or there was some real life inspiration. And it was really fun to hear everybody's stories about, the weird thing that happened to them. Like one of the authors, Karen Gray, writes these like 80s and 90s rom-coms, and she was talking about how like she had called into like a radio show, when she was like in her early 20s. She's coming back from like an acting job, and she ended up like bonding with the DJ, and he said like, "Oh, you got to call me tomorrow night and tell me that you made it home safe," because she was like using his show to kind of stay awake on this very long drive. And they had like a connection where they like called, and she called him every night, and they talked. And that was sort of the premise for the book. In real life, it did not work out as a rom-com, although they did meet. But the book, which I think was called You Spin Me, was it's a really fun little story. So it's really fun. I don't know. I don't know, but I do make a good milkshake. All right. So you guys let us know in the chat what you are going to be working on today. I think I told you guys I've got a client work I'm doing, quick edit, and then I'm going to be doing some promo stuff on Canva. Right. I know. I always think all of her books are named after like 80s and 90s songs, which is kind of funny. Yeah. So I think we all know that one. As soon as I saw You Spin Me, I was like, I could hear it in my head.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of genius, right? It's kind of genius. All right. Let's go ahead and do our first 20-minute sprint. I'm ready to get some writing done. I feel like yesterday. Yeah, right. I feel like I started off okay yesterday, but I have been very distractible lately, and I'm trying to get myself, back in line. All right, everybody, here we go. On the count of 3, I feel like somebody's calling to us from a meeting. Does somebody have something going on?
No.
You guys hear that?
So. I do very distantly hear something.
Yeah.
I'm looking at all my tabs. I don't have anything open.
I think it was me. I called it out, and it was totally me. All right. It was, what happened? It was the 5-minute timer. Like it was whatever popped up next after that. So yeah, it was totally me. I'm like, what is that? Does anybody hear that? All right, everybody. We're going to do our first 20-minute writing sprint. We're going to put up 3 seconds on the clock to get ready, 20 minutes for the sprint. And the goal is to just write as fast as you can for that 20 minutes. And we will come back and chat all about it, answer some questions when we get back. Here we go, everybody. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's sprint. All right. So glad to see you guys. All right. How'd everybody do on that last sprint?
Good.
Very good.
Fantastic. I like started on Canva and then went down a rabbit hole. So I probably should have done my editing work first, but that's okay. So oops, hold on. I can hear something again. This is once again my fault. I did drop the link if you guys are if you're interested. I did drop the link in the chat for the little video.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. So how is everybody doing this week? I know last week we had talked a lot about everybody feeling like they were distracted a lot.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys feel this week?
Better. I'm doing
Yeah?
better. Yeah.
Are you? Yeah.
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 I feel like I've been a little more focused this week than last week. I'm still struggling with it, although I have been really noting every single day like how I'm feeling, and I am starting to see a pattern that I'm wiped out by Thursday. Like if I work really hard Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, by Thursday I need to have some sort of a break day where I'm not writing, where I'm doing other sort of less thinky activities.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting because before I would just try to like crank it out every Thursday, but I'm tired. And it just ends up with me like banging my head up against the wall. So I thought, well, what if I just switch my schedule around to kind of deal with how my brain actually is? So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, it's almost like physically working out. The mental workout of it is after a few days, you do kind of need a little bit of a break. And
Yeah.
pushing on, like 5, 6, or 7 days a week, it's just, you need to refuel.
You do need to refuel, and it's hard to remember that sometimes, or it's hard to sort of make it work in your brain if you are on a deadline. Like I'm on a tight deadline with this project, and so I feel like I should be working on it 24 hours a day every chance I get. But what happens is that I end up burning out on it, and then I'm not as productive. And so I'm trying to like play with the idea that if I take more breaks, that maybe I'll get more done.
Yeah.
So yeah. I was, you guys know, at the beginning of the year, remember I was like, oh, I'm going to try and go to a 4-day week. Somebody had an echo today. But I was like, I was going to go to a 4-day week, and then we had the baby visit for a while, and I felt like, ooh, I'm so far behind. I need to catch up. And that's where I am.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. 4-day week sounds so great, but I have been able to figure out how to do it.
I know it's terrible, right? Because it like all this research says you're actually as productive or more productive if you go to a 4-day week, but I have not yet been able to pull it off. I'm trying.
I was going to ask you how that worked out, and I was actually going to buy the book and read it and see if it sounded logical and could work for me.
There's there is so much research that shows how oh my god, I have a baby visitor. This is a different baby. Hi, Logan. Come here. Let me see you.
A different baby. What are you running over there?
I know, right? So this is hi, sweetie. I guess this is I'm doing a live stream. I literally have Mike's whole family in here. Are you grabbing my nose?
So cute. Oh my goodness.
All right. Look, he's like practicing his surfing already. Bye-bye. I got a big smile. This is Mike's sister's grandbaby, and his mommy Maddie lives really close to us, and she just got out of the hospital, and so she's taking a nap, and we got grandma over here bringing the baby to visit. So yeah, oh my gosh, I just love a cute baby. This kid, he was a preemie when he was first born, and he was like the size of a little hamster, and he looked like a little plucked chicken, and now he's just got these cute cheeks, and he's like the smiliest baby. So love that. Sorry for the sidebar, you guys.
No problem.
Love it.
Very
so cute.
worth it.
Hi, Bailey May. So glad to see you. Crystal's here today. I jumped into the middle of the last sprint, was all in. Yeah. I have my pumpkin pie ice cream candle from World Market lit, and I'm unashamed that it's August. You go, Crystal. That's awesome.
It's practical fall.
Yeah. Yes, yes. So we were talking about this. Like, I think that there's just been so much stuff going on. That's it. I mean, there's been stuff going on like in my life, but also stuff going on in the world for all of us. And it's just been like, yeah, like Michelle's like, yes,
Hard not to get
yes.
sucked in.
Right? I know last week I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm finally getting a groove. Like I think I'm getting a handle on this. I'm going to figure this productivity thing out. And then, oh no, hurricane coming.
Oh God.
Like, so we spent the whole, you know what though, I will say, as far as hurricanes coming, like, you always worry because you never know. A lot of times, like, you always worry till they sort of get over Cuba because that's when they tend to intensify. But this was, I would say, like a very pleasant and mild hurricane to, like, you know, usually when you're watching it on the Weather Channel and the thing's like a category 4 and it's barreling towards your house, it really freaks you out.
Yeah.
But Floridians tend to not worry too much about a category. Like, we always know the flooding's going to be bad, but wind wise, you don't worry you're going to lose your roof in a category 1 typically. And so and this thing was slow as molasses. So we basically spent the entire weekend on the couch watching, like, well, switching between the Weather Channel and like watching movies and just stuffing our little faces with 1,000 pounds of hurricane snacks. And it was a little stressful, you know, doing all the prep and everything, but it was also kind of like more it was more peaceful than we normally have for a hurricane. I still feel wiped out, but you know, it's just different. All right,
Hey,
so Doll is
something?
what was that? Sorry, what was that?
I think it's probably okay for me to say this. You know how I said I got a middle grade book deal, but I haven't been able to like talk about it yet?
Yeah.
A hurricane is involved. And I did grow up in Texas, and New Orleans.
So you know.
So I know
you know
something about that. But it does take place over the couple days of a massive hurricane. There's like a survival aspect. So I might have to pick your brain about
anytime. Anytime. I have lived here for a very long time. I am well versed.
For me, like, I grew up in New Orleans and then Texas, but like that was more childhood. So it's as an adult, I don't have the experience as much.
Well, and that's it, right? When you're like, I remember I went to a college in Florida, and you know, when a hurricane was coming, we just party and, you know, like that. So now, as like an adult, I'm like, we have to bring all the lanai furniture in, and I have to have 77 days worth of food and a bunch of water. And it's not like you can just buy a 12-pack of beer and go, we're set. Although I will say it is Florida, and that is hurricane prep for many people.
100%.
Yeah. But I am full. Like, I had just gotten out of the hospital, and I was kind of unprepared for Hurricane Charlie. And it devastated us. Like, we lost part of our roof, all of that stuff. And so since then, I have been a super prepper for hurricanes. And I have, like, we have our favorite hurricane model. That would be the European model. And we have, like, I have like a whole, you know, checklist of stuff. We always have our water. Like, we are not allowed to have less than like 6 cases of water during hurricane season. So I'm your person. I'm your source for this. Cool Gamer is here. I'm like, my office door keeps opening. It's like the dog visits. There's a baby. Like, there's a lot going on today, apparently. Crystal, I've been through many hurricanes. They're so annoying. Last night, however, we were, oh my gosh, a 6.3 earthquake. Where was that? I haven't even checked the news.
I didn't hear about that either.
Oh my gosh. Well, I hope you are okay and all of your stuff is okay, but mostly I hope you and your family are safe and okay. So let us know how you guys are doing. Hurricane snacks, want to know what those are. Crunchy cotton candy. So everything, like lots of sugar and lots of like crunchy, salty stuff. Yeah. So, and then we always make sure the grill is like full up with propane so we can cook out there. There's nothing worse than like your power going out and you're going to eat out of some soupy cooler.
Yes. No, 100%.
Yeah, lots of stuff like where you can, if you keep it cold, you can just eat it, like sandwiches and things like that.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah, that was the worst thing. We were really more worried about the tornadoes because there were quite a few. Few hurricanes in Hawaii. They tend to hit Kauai hardest, not Oahu so much where I am, but that's why we have chickens everywhere. Okay, I am not getting the chicken connection, but I'm dying to know why Do you have more chickens in Oahu because of hurricanes? I think I'm missing a connection, but I'm dying to know what it is because I feel like this is going to be hilarious.
If the wind blows the chicken away, it's too strong.
That could be it. That could be it. Winter. Oh my gosh, felt the earthquake. Is that where it was? Was it in California, the earthquake yesterday? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. 15 miles away, California. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I was born in California. I remember. Well, it's like your whole thing with not remembering hurricanes because you're like remembering hurricanes, but not feeling the same way. I definitely remember. It's so funny because there was a really strong memory I have of being a kid and my mom. We had some other kids playing over at the house, and my mom was like, "We're gonna have a party in the laundry room," and she brought all these snacks down, and we were all sitting in the laundry room having this little, like, I don't know, kind of like a tea party, but basically just all the sugar in the house, I think. And at the time, I thought, like, my mom is the greatest. But what I found out later was that there was a tornado. And she was like terrified, trying to keep us all calm. None of us even knew. We were just like, cookies.
What a good mom.
I know, right? She's the greatest. Do the chickens keep the bad weather away? I'm going to get some. Oh, the hurricanes blew the coops. That makes more sense. Well, like if you see dolphins while you're surfing, then there are typically no sharks around. So I thought, well, maybe chickens are like a harbinger of no hurricanes, but this makes more sense. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started with our next 20-minute sprint. If you have questions that you want to have answered today, please let us know in the chat, and we will be sure to get to those. And when we come back, I got a really interesting question about going wide versus staying in Kindle Unlimited. So we're going to talk about that when we come back. All right, here we go. 20 minutes up on the clock. And we are going to get started with our second sprint in 3, 2, 1. Let's cha-cha. All right, there you go. Very nice. I was like doing this editing and I thought like I have my mouth open and I'm literally just like on the video today. Uh, so I had an interesting question come to me this week. Oh, good. AM or AM, let us know if it's AM or AM, has a question, drop it in the chat and we will be happy to answer it. In the meantime, I want to answer the question that came in over the last week. And that was from an author who previously was in Kindle, had all their books in Kindle Unlimited, and then they had gone wide with their books, meaning that they weren't just selling in Kindle Unlimited, they were selling across all of the platforms. And now they are considering going back to selling in Kindle Unlimited because they are feeling like that people are spending less money right now, and that they were doing better in Kindle Unlimited. So it's an adjustment, I know, for a lot of people when they're going from just selling on Kindle Unlimited to selling wide, and it takes a little while to, you get a little boost if you sell on Amazon. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a great answer that's like a one size fits all for anybody. Some authors who write in series, who have longer books, they tend to do better in Kindle Unlimited because people will whip right through the entire series. You get paid on page reads, so that makes a lot of sense. The person who sent the question, I had asked a follow up to say, what kind of books are you writing? Are you writing in a series? Are you writing long books or short books? And I did not get a response back before the chat today, but all of that matters. Does anybody on here feel like they have something to say on this, or are you guys? Are these questions? Is this a question that you guys are wrestling with yourselves on whether or not to do Kindle Unlimited? And this is for obviously indie authors, because if you are traditionally published, you're going wide. That's how it is. We're all going wide. And so I say that, but actually there are not a number, but a couple of traditional publishers that have done some sort of experimentation with being in Kindle Unlimited, which I always think is smart. So yeah, anybody have anything else to add to that? It was
out of my area of expertise.
It's it's one of those questions that's like impossible to answer. What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah, I think I would prefer to go wide, but if you had some experimental series or something like you're talking about, why not give it a shot and have a combination of both and see what's going to work for you? Because if you have more lines in the order, if you're an indie, it would make sense to diversify that way.
Yeah. Well, one of my book coaching clients is Vanessa Vale, and I actually coached her on creating her course. She's best known, I've talked about her on the stream before. She's best known, she has this great Thrifty Tips for Authors Facebook group, because years ago she was exclusively advertising on Facebook, pushing all that ad traffic over, I guess, to Amazon, and she got her Facebook ad account shut down, which is super common among romance authors and really tough, if not impossible, to get back. And so she had to figure out how to sell books without ads. And she's very ingenious. She's quite innovative, and she has come up with a lot of different ways to do that. One of which is this idea of branding across everything, having your branding be really solid. But another one of those is that she is as wide as she possibly can be. She's like, even if I make $1 a day off Barnes and Noble, if you add that to 100 other bookstores, it all really starts to add up. And there's some proof there. This is a woman who's making over $1 million a year, and she's never had a USA Today bestseller. It's just all, her backlist grinding away for her. And there's a real advantage to that. Winter says KU is really nice if you're lazy with marketing. I have heard that. Well, too, right? Then you only have to worry about uploading to one place, all of that. At least for your ebooks. For print, obviously, you're going to want to go to wide. Crystal says, I see a lot of writers that double as editors. How does one go about doing this if they don't have the background in it?
I have some strong feelings here.
Yeah. So, Robert, let's as you are a writer who doubles as an editor, let's dig in on this.
Well, the publishing industry doesn't give away its secrets and save the cat, or most of the popular craft books, and this is what those types of editors are giving you. So what you're basically getting, it's not to say they couldn't become a good line editor or a copy editor, because that's what they're giving people. They're not really giving them a full edit. So know what you're going in for if you're looking into this. And if you're going to do, like, you know, say you're giving industry standards when you're not, then this is just, you know, I see people doing it and they're charging a lot of money for this. You know,
So
there's just so much to it. It's much more complex than what, you know, you're reading in books or what these people are giving you. There's like at least 14 different types of story structure. There's 14 different types of genre, and making the wrong combination and not knowing how to handle that alone could be a disaster, as with the client I'm working on now.
You're batting cleanup on this one. Is this what's happening here? You gotta
don't get me started.
So for those of you who are not familiar, there are multiple types of editing. You have developmental editing, which is sometimes called a dev edit, and that is like a full-on sort of structural edit. You're checking to see checking for consistency. You're looking for holes in the plot. You're looking for areas of the book it's more of a forest type of an edit, right? You're looking for parts of the book that really don't work together or don't work well, period. It's a big sort of overview. And if you're going to get a developmental edit, you're going to want to get one from someone who's got some experience and who really understands story structure, especially in your particular genre. Yes. If you just need someone to clean up your punctuation, spelling, and grammar, that's a line edit. And that is, I think, if you want to be an editor, I think that's an easier way to break in, right? You can start as a line editor because there's less of a requirement that you understand the story, when your goal is to, correct those spelling, punctuation, grammar errors, but also allow the author to be, sort of true to their voice. So I remember having a Penguin editor, a line editor. So we'd already gone through the, the developmental edit, but just which is also sometimes called a copy editor. But anyway, so I'm going through the last edit of this book, and she was probably not a good editor for me because there's some swearing in my books, and she would get so mad every time. But that's not really something that, I mean, you might say, hey, you have 77 examples of the F word in this chapter. Are you sure you want to do that? Certainly that's like a good thing. But at that point, like your goal is to make sure that the book is clean and free of errors. It's not to convince the person not to swear or do some other thing like that, unless you see a really big problem. But I think that would be the best entree if you are looking, Crystal, to getting into editing. I would start it off with line editing and then sort of expand once you have a lot of experience with that or some experience with that, expand more into the areas where you're more comfortable. Mary says, I'm Kindle Unlimited curious, which I love. That's great. I've done both and have had some success with some and some for others. Typically, I'll do them for specific periods of time. Everybody needs to read The Anatomy of Genres or we can't be friends. That's it.
That can be helpful, yes.
Yeah, that can be very
That's the
helpful.
one that really talks about, at least separating genres and trying to, combine them in a way that, as he puts it, kind of transcend your genre.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you guys know, I had I agree. It's an excellent book. I had some stuff with the romance section of it, but I will say I think overall it's a very good book. Doll is like full of book recommendations today. Thank you very much, Doll. I don't know what slow productivity is, but I'm going to go look that book up after the stream today. Crystal said, Thank you. It made me uncomfortable seeing how everyone is an editor now. It takes away from the legitimate ones. That is the truth, right? There are varying degrees, and you want to make sure that you have, that you're getting somebody good. I will say, though, that a lot of authors are willing to give a newer editor a chance because a newer editor typically costs less money than an editor who's had a lot more experience. And for me, the best way that I have found editors as a writer has been through personal connections. Either I know them personally, like I know that Robert has a really, strong sense of story, and that he really understands how books are constructed. And so, like, if I need an editor, I would go to Robert, or I would go to somebody that is recommended by one of my friends for my specific genre. So, okay. So Doll says, Slow Productivity by Cal Newport. It helps with the feeling of overwhelm. Well, I'm going to go order that right now, because I feel like I will say, I had felt less overwhelmed. I think I told you guys this last week. I had decided to abandon my to-do list, and anything I need to do, I put on my schedule. And in some ways that's been great, because I just feel like, oh, at 9:00 I got to do this. But then I also, like, there's a part of me that worries that I've forgotten something. I imagine that will, once I get more used to it, that it will not happen as much. But right now I'm like, if you have a to-do list, you can just go look and say, oh, it's number 13. But if you're scheduling it instead of creating a to-do list, I have to look did I schedule that for Tuesday? Is that Wednesday? And that's kind of a pain. So I'll figure it out. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and do our next sprint. Let's see here. Hold on, guys. There we go. I lost our thing here. Okay, so I'm going to pop this up on the screen. We are going to do another 20 minutes on the clock, starting in 3, 2, 1. Make it happen. Welcome back, everybody. How'd you guys do in that last sprint?
Good.
Pretty good.
Yeah. I'm excited. I got my edits done. So that's fantastic. Sent that back to the client. So I'm excited about that. Woohoo. While we were in this last sprint, RC showed up. Hello,
Hey.
RC. We are super glad to see you today. Doll, I went over and ordered that book while we were in that first sprint, or not first sprint, in the last sprint. I ordered Slow Productivity. I'm excited to read it. Everyone convinced me to give Substack a try working on that first post. Good for you. I love the way it looks. I wish they had more stuff on the back end for automations, but I think Substack is such a cool idea. And also I love that it's free. It's a good place to start your newsletter for sure. All right. Yeah, very. How are you liking it, Michelle?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly what I wanted
That's
it to
great.
be. It makes it very easy.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a really great option. I really love it. All right. We have 12:43. If we start right this very second, we can get one more sprint in. What do you guys think? Should we do it?
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Let's do it. Let me get this go. Oh, hold on. We lost our timer. Oops. There we go. Let me grab that back up. All right. Oh, what's going on without us? Hold on. Right? Technical difficulties right at the very end. Okay. Here we go. Here's our timer. We're going to get started for our very last sprint in 3, 2, 1. Right like the wind. we lost Robert. Uh-oh. So we're back and we're about to leave. So hope that last sprint was a good one for everybody. I think we just lost Robert last second. So let's say our goodbyes. Robert would say
this light.
That's okay. You look like you're like, oh
my
going to
God.
heaven. That's okay.
The car door's open and it's I can't stop it. Sorry. All
well,
right.
let's do our outros before we go.
All right.
Thank you, as always, Michelle, for being here. Tell everybody about your awesome channel.
All right, I'm Michelle Schusterman. I write middle grade and young adult novels. My channel is Writing Workshops, Traditional Publishing Chat, and Writing Vlogs. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you so much for being here. As always, I'm Lisa Daly, and on my channel, we talk about how to write a book you're super proud of and get it published. And I am the author of contemporary romance, primarily rom-coms, and nonfiction writing advice. So thanks so much, you guys. We will see you next week. Have a great one. Keep those keyboards clacking, as Robert would say.
There you go.
Bye, everybody.